division has its chaos, its brawlers, its talkers, its flashy finishers. But in the shadows of all the noise, there's a different kind of threat. One that doesn't shout, one that doesn't chase cameras, one that simply breaks everyone placed in front of her. That threat is Manon Fiorot, the French sniper of the flyweight division. No gimmicks, no drama, just ice-cold calculation and devastating precision. She's been carving a path through the UFC's toughest women, using footwork, distance management, and pure fight IQ to shut down everyone from rising stars to former champions. But her rise wasn't handed to her. Before the lights, before the UFC money, she was a snowboarder, a national champion. Then came the injuries, the switch to striking, and eventually the grind through lesser-known promotions, picking apart opponent after opponent until the UFC couldn't ignore her anymore. Ranked among the top flyweights on the planet, break down the 10 fights that built Manon Fiorot into the most dangerous title contender in the UFC today.
Let me live lavish, only one of champ, number one status.
Number 10. Manon Fiorot versus Naomi Tataroglu. Fiorot entered this fight still raw in her MMA development, but it didn't matter. From the opening bell, she used her karate base to control the range with sharp kicks and a wide stance, making Tataroglu hesitant to enter striking distance. What stood out here wasn't just the striking, it was the transition from kickboxing to full MMA. Fiorot used subtle foot pivots to keep the fight in her comfort zone. When Tataroglu tried to close the distance, Manon punished her with counter left hooks and teep kicks to the body. In round 2, she overwhelmed her opponent with a flurry against the cage and scored the TKO. It was her first real showcase of how dangerous her distance control could be. Number 9. Manon Fiorot versus Gabriela Campos. A title shot on the line, and Fiorot made it look like target practice. Gabriela Campos was a gritty striker from Brazil, but from the start, Fiorot had her timing dialed in. She opened with stiff jabs and body kicks, forcing Campos to constantly reset. The moment Campos tried to plant her feet and trade, Fiorot landed a picture-perfect right hand that wobbled her, followed by a spinning back kick that nearly folded her in half. Less than 3 minutes in, it was over. First round TKO. This win wasn't just about violence, it was about evolution. Fiorot was now setting traps, feinting entries, and mixing strikes at a level far beyond her opponent. She claimed the UAE Warriors Flyweight Championship, and instantly landed on the UFC's radar. Number 8. Manon Fiorot versus Victoria Leonardo. Her UFC debut. The big leagues. And Fiorot didn't hesitate for a second. From the opening bell, she showed zero nerves. She stalked Leonardo behind a long jab, mixed in stabbing side kicks to the midsection, and kept a wide-bladed stance to frustrate Leonardo's attempts to close the gap. Midway through round 2, she exploded. After hurting Leonardo with a head kick, she unleashed a devastating combination. Jab, cross, body kick, spinning back fist, and Leonardo had no answer. The ref waved it off as Manon poured on the volume against the cage. It was a highlight reel finish in her debut, and the MMA world suddenly realized this wasn't just another striker. Fiorot was different. Number 7. Manon Fiorot versus Tabitha Ricci. Ricci came in undefeated and confident, but she had no idea what was coming. Fiorot immediately established range with her jab and side kicks, keeping Ricci several inches outside her comfort zone. Every time Ricci tried to clinch, Fiorot framed off with underhooks and circled away, refusing to give her the wrestling exchanges she wanted. In the second round, Fiorot's timing hit another level. A clean lead hook landed flush, followed by a straight right that stunned Ricci. She smelled blood and went in for the kill, landing 5 unanswered strikes, forcing the referee to step in for a standing TKO. 2 UFC fights, 2 stoppages, 0 resistance. Number 6. Manon Fiorot versus Bueno Silva. This was Fiorot's first real step up. Silva was dangerous, strong, powerful, and experienced in grappling exchanges. But Fiorot's answer? Shut it all down. She controlled the entire fight with angles and tempo changes. Silva kept pressuring forward, but Fiorot neutralized her aggression by peppering her with leg kicks and pull counter rights. On the rare occasion Silva clinched, Fiorot broke away quickly and re-established distance like a veteran. Silva was visibly frustrated. She couldn't find the target, couldn't get a takedown, and couldn't solve Manon's movement. Fiorot won every round, clean and tactical. This was her first UFC decision, but it sent a message. Manon doesn't just beat you, she breaks your confidence. Number 5. Manon Fiorot versus Jennifer Maia, a former title challenger. Durable, veteran savvy, known for dragging fights into deep waters. But she had no clue how sharp Fiorot's blade had become. Round 1 saw Fiorot cut angles beautifully, using her jab to intercept Maia's forward movement. When Maia tried to crash in, Fiorot would pivot off the center line and counter with hooks and body kicks. Maia tried to make it ugly, forcing clinches, digging for underhooks. But Fiorot's balance and takedown defense held strong. And by round 3, it was Fiorot pressing forward, landing clean 1-2 shots and mixing in spinning back fists for good measure. Another unanimous decision win. Another elite name added to her resume. Number 4. Manon Fiorot versus Katlyn Chookagian. This was the gatekeeper fight. Beat Chookagian and you're in the title conversation. It wasn't easy. Chookagian is tall, awkward, and throws in volume. But Fiorot never lost composure. She matched Chookagian's output with better accuracy and timing. While Chookagian peppered with volume, Fiorot answered with impact. Clean left hooks, step-in knees, and body kicks that echoed through the arena. What won her this fight was ring generalship. She cut the cage off, dictated where the fight took place, and constantly made Chookagian reset. The judges scored it a split decision, but most analysts had it clearly for Manon. This win made her the #1 contender in the flyweight rankings. Number 3. Manon Fiorot versus Rose Namajunas. Main card. Hometown crowd. A former champion across the octagon. Rose moved up in weight and tried to keep it technical, but she couldn't match Fiorot's size, strength, or control. Manon dictated range early, using her side kicks to force Rose to overextend. Every time Rose tried to flurry, Fiorot slipped and returned fire with heavier, sharper counters. Round 2 was a clinic. Fiorot opened up her striking, landing a series of body kicks and a flush left hand that staggered Rose. The final round saw Fiorot simply outclass her, sharper, meaner, and more composed. It wasn't just a win, it was a statement. Manon Fiorot is ready for the belt. Number 2. Manon Fiorot versus Corinne Laframboise. One of her grittiest wins. Laframboise pushed the pace early, looking to clinch and test Fiorot's grappling. It worked, for a while. But by round 2, Fiorot's striking adjustments took over. She began intercepting takedown entries with knees, then punished Laframboise with elbows in the clinch. By round 3, Fiorot broke her with sheer attrition, ending it with a brutal flurry and third-round TKO. This win earned her the UAE title shot, and taught her how to survive chaos, adapt, and finish. Number 1. Manon Fiorot versus Leah McCourt. Before her pro career even began, she met Leah McCourt, now a Bellator contender, in the finals of the IMMAF World Championship. Fiorot used her karate base to stay elusive, constantly switching stances and frustrating McCourt's takedown attempts. When she wasn't landing clean shots on the outside, she was defending everything McCourt threw at her on the ground. 3 rounds later, the gold medal was hers, and the MMA world had officially been put on notice. From snowy mountains to bright lights, from early submission losses to dominance against champions, Manon Fiorot didn't rise through viral clips or trash talk. She rose through results. 10 fights, 10 lessons, 10 victims. And now she waits. For gold, for legacy, for her shot at the UFC flyweight title. She's not here to be famous, she's here to be feared. If you believe the Beast is the next queen of the division, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let us know in the comments. Can anyone stop Manon Fiorot? Or are we witnessing the next flyweight champion in real time?